Hello, FA Nation. Hi, I'm Brandon Marianne Lee. I'm here with Howard Bender. Howard, how are you doing today? I can't believe it's week 13.
I can't believe it's week 13 either, right? It's like this is like the last week of the regular season for pretty much every league.
Yeah, although all the leagues I think I'm in with you, it's actually the playoffs already. But you're the only one, I think. Yeah. Isn't it?
Well, the Dirty Laundry League, yeah, that's the playoff. That starts the playoffs
and
now.
Fantrax, the
the
Dynasty.
Yeah, the Dynasty. Yeah, because you have to end up because you want the two conferences to meet in week 16, and nobody wanted to meet in week 17 because they're all a bunch of little whiny babies and like
whiny baby children. I also agree with that, though. I think week 17 should be banned. We'll still be here to help you, but don't do it. Oh, okay. Actually, Howard's not going to be here for week 17, so maybe I won't either. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, he's gone. We're here, though, for week 13. That's right. Again, if you are playing for the playoffs, awesome. Let's do this. If you're in a consolation bracket, please play out your consolation bracket. If your league decided to do that, they did it for a reason. Don't be a jerk. There's nothing worse than doing a consolation bracket and having your opponent not set their lineups. Then you're like, okay, so it's like consolation, like, and I suck because I'm like not even playing someone. Like, be respectful. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Then you can say next year, I don't want a consolation bracket. But if you have one, don't be that guy or gal because we will come after you.
You can be that guy or gal. Consolation brackets? What are we going to let's give some teal ribbons of participation just for playing in a fantasy league now?
No, it's called not being last. Don't suck. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Listen, you can be last, just have the worst record in the league. It's not the consolation bracket. There's no playoffs for being the biggest loser.
It's the less loser. That's what we're going for.
Is that what we're going for here?
Less loser. Okay.
Do all those snowflakes need their little like consolation bracket?
Don't do one. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But if you do one, set your freaking lineup.
Nope. Now I'm not gonna.
Then you're the greatest. Then you're just like the ultimate loser, and I will come after you.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, you guys, we're going to go back and forth between teams, questions, because we want to make sure that we cover everything. Also, because a lot of people have dropped out a little bit, there won't be probably as many questions. But as always, we are here on fantasydom.com because it's the best. You can also find us on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and on Periscope/Twitter. We're everywhere. So ask questions. If you are not getting a response after about 20-ish minutes or something like that, you can ask again. You guys. We're on different sides than what I'm used to this week, is what someone said here. Berman Ram Truck. We apologize, but we're just here to mix it up. We want to keep it fresh. You know, that's how you stay married too. So, gotta learn. So, but thank you
is that how we stay married? So if I let it go stale, my wife will divorce me?
I don't
Thank you.
The obvious, Howard.
Thank you for revealing the secrets for me, Brandon.
Sorry, we're also for advice if you guys have any issues, so don't worry. We're both happily married people who tolerate this job, so it's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. It's really impressive. Okay. So
it really is.
It really is. Our first question of the day, though, is about today. Someone says looking good, though, so that's good. So at least even if we're on opposite sides, some people like us. Dak or Bake, it said. I'm assuming that's Baker Mayfield. And not Blake Bortles because he's not playing, or bake marijuana or something. I don't know. What else do you bake? I don't understand. Cakes. It's not
brownies, cookies. Like you went right to marijuana. Look at you. You could take the girl out of Colorado, but you can't take the Colorado out of the girl.
It is legal. Okay. Dak Prescott playing against the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints obviously is a good matchup. But Baker Mayfield killing it. Last week, you guys, he was playing the Cincinnati Bengals, which, by the way, if you need a sleeper as your second quarterback, Case Keenum against the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to tell you right now, is a very interesting thing. Only one person has had less than 16.7 fantasy points against the Bengals all season. But this week, Baker Mayfield plays the Houston Texans. A little different of a situation there. So how do you feel about these two quarterbacks going into this week? By the way, also, Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns in a row and 5 in the last 6 games. Rushing.
Yeah. I'm using Dak Prescott in this matchup here against the Saints. I know the Saints have a tough defense. It's going to be a tough game. no question about it here. But we're talking about higher floor, who's been surging right now. I mean, I hate to say it's the Cowboys, but I got to go with the Cowboys here. And Dak Prescott, I think, can have a really nice game here tonight.
Yeah, I do too. So let's go ahead and let's just start. Actually, let's just cover this game in its full and entire. It's in its beautifulness. That is because this is a 51.5 over under going into the game. The Saints are obviously favored at 29.25, and then the Cowboys though respectful 22.25 here. So they're basically looking for this to be kind of like a shootout, but more on the Saints side here. So we're gonna start with the Saints. Tre'Quan Smith was out last week with a foot injury. In this week against the Cowboys, removed from the injury report in its entirety. But how do you feel about him going in?
How do I feel about who going in?
Tre'Quan Smith.
I was hoping you were saying Austin Carr. Listen, I do like I like Tre'Quan Smith a ton. I've always liked Tre'Quan Smith a ton. I really have. I'm a little nervous about him, though, in this matchup here. I don't even think it's necessarily about the matchup itself. It's about the fact that Drew Brees, for the last couple of games, has been throwing touchdown passes to Kirkwood, Dan Arnold, Austin Carr, Tommy Lee Lewis caught one. I mean, like, he's spreading it all around to all of these fringe wideouts that I think missing that game really kind of screwed with the momentum that I think Tre'Quan Smith could have had. He had such a great game, and then it was the foot injury, and then he's out, and then so Brees hooks up with all these other dudes, and the next thing you know, Tre'Quan's on the outside looking in. So I'm a little nervous about him.
Tommy Lee Lewis and Brandon Marshall are inactive this week. There is still Keith Kirkwood that's still happening, although it was a 5-yard score, but only one catch last week. So it wasn't like, he was killing it. Ben Watson, 1 of 2 targets for 20 yards last week as well. This is a better matchup for him than anyone else, but I just feel like Ben Watson is just not.
Yeah, he sees 3 targets a game, maybe, if he's lucky.
I just feel like sometimes we get obsessed with matchups with these streaming tight ends, and sometimes it's like, it's just not going to happen. And then that's how I feel about him. How do you feel about Ingram and Kamara in this particular matchup?
I mean, if you look at the numbers and you look at the fact that Cowboys ranking against running back pass plays, and I think it's on the lower end. I want to say it's like 18th or 19th or something like that. Let me just pull it up here because I was looking at it earlier today. 24th. There you go. So 24th. So I mean, listen, I love Kamara, and I'll always use Kamara, and I've got Kamara in like a bunch of Monday, Thursday lineups. I'm wondering really how they are going to deploy Mark Ingram because, his success has come, just running right between the tackles, just right up the gut there, and you can look at, all of his run plays, and the question is how much of an impact is Sean Lee not being there, and is Leighton Vander Esch doing a great enough job? I mean, he's playing beautifully for a rookie, but is Vander Esch going to be that difference maker in a key matchup like this where you've got Ingram and Kamara and you can get that 1-2 punch there? So, I mean, I'm using Kamara. I'll start Kamara everywhere, no question about it. And then just depending on the matchups, not the matchups, but depending on what the lineups are, who I've got available, I'm perfectly fine using Mark Ingram tonight. I don't love it to pieces, but I'm fine with it.
I don't know. I don't love it. Over the last 3 games, the only running back to score a touchdown, rushing or receiving, was Capri Bibbs.
Who's he?
Yeah. So, to me, I'm just going to go in on Kamara, not even feel great about it, and then hope for the best. And, listen, you may be in a situation where you have to start Mark Ingram. There's not much out there. You either have your running backs or you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
I was looking at like breakout players for the Trust 'em and Dust 'em video, and I was like, very few options to even talk.
I was looking at one league. I was like, do I want to use Corey Clement or Wendell Smallwood?
Which neither of them are breakout players. They're just sad. But yeah. Okay, let's talk about the other side here. We got the Dallas Cowboys here. Tyron Smith is inactive.
That's a big deal.
So that is a big deal. They're saying that Byron Jones probably isn't going to shadow Michael Thomas. I just, guys, you would never sit Michael Thomas. I just want to put that out there in case, I got some kind of questions here. Ezekiel Elliott's hip injury, he practiced in full on Monday. It didn't seem to be a big deal. Amari Cooper obviously is making a huge difference here. I feel like you have to start Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, obviously. Mm-hmm. No one else is on my radar.
Not from the Cowboys, no. I mean,
0%.
I wonder what's going on with Michael Gallup, with his brother and that whole situation there that went down, because he's been basically absent for the last 2 games here. He was, it's just been, and it's understandable. It's great. It's not great. I might have a little case of the Beasles, just a little one.
Little okay.
One. Because PJ Williams is such a bad cover guy. He's terrible. He's terrible. Yeah. And so I think if Marshawn Lattimore is on Amari Cooper, okay, then they're going to have to look elsewhere, and that's going to be the short passes to Beasley, I think. So that's the only guy I think on the Cowboys I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not loving it, but if you're in a situation where you're deciding between maybe him and I don't know. I think I'd still go with a Nunwan Humphreys over him.
Ooh, Humphreys. I interviewed Humphreys on Fantasy Alarm the other day.
That was me opening the door.
Thank you.
It's very impressive. Yes. I was like, I'm just going to see if I can name drop and then him be like, yes, I interviewed him and it was amazing. You guys have to check it out for sure.
It was actually a good interview.
You can get it on demand. It's really cool. We got little sound bites and stuff. It was a really cool interview. So congrats, Howard. It was really cool. 12-team 1-point PPR. Peterson or Yeldon is my RB2. I think I go Yeldon here.
I go Yeldon as well.
Yeah, you guys, Yeldon was the guy when Leonard Fournette was out. Now, this time, Carlos Hyde is there, and there's a little bit of nerves going in there. The problem, though, is that I don't like Peterson against the Philadelphia defense with – Colt McCoy wasn't hideous, I guess, but I just like the situation better for Yeldon here because they're going to use him a lot because they also have Cody Kessler there. The Colts defense is better than you think, but I still think this is going to be fine. Standard, non-PPR, Josh Gordon or DJ Moore?
I don't really know how – what?
Crazy. That's a legitimate question.
It is a legit question. I don't know how you pivot away from DJ Moore right now. He's seeing the targets. He's going up against Tampa Bay. The last time Carolina and Tampa Bay played, Carolina put up a 42 spot on them and, did it without batting an eye. So I think that with no Devin Funchess or even a limited Devin Funchess, I think DJ Moore is he's taken over as the new number 1 on this team.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's definitely DJ Moore for me, also because it's a bad matchup against Minnesota for Gordon. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I think this is a really legitimate question, and certainly Josh Gordon got a lot of usage and or so far this season hasn't really become that guy anyone thought that he would be. They were like, oh, it's just he's not getting usage. Well, no, he is now, and he's still not a top guy. So. DJ Moore, on the other hand, when he gets the usage, is a top guy whenever that happens. So that's going to be the weighted thing for me here. The next game we're talking about is the Ravens at Falcons. It's a 48 over-under, which I think is overdoing it. I don't think that's going to happen. But, Vegas is smart, so we'll go with that right now. Alex Collins returned to a limited practice with his foot injury. Gus Edwards had an ankle injury, but he's returned to practice. Everything should be fine. Joe Flacco, hip. Do you think they're going to bring back Joe Flacco? Definitely not this week. But do you think even the rest of the season?
Well, no. I think what they're going to do is, they said that they won't bring him back to play at all until he puts in a full week of practice. If he does put in a full week of practice, I could, I could see them stupidly trying to weave him in there, and I just
to be fair, Lamar Jackson got the easiest schedule ever to come in as a rookie quarterback, and good for him, and he's been good. but I think it was 15 quarterbacks scored over 20 fantasy points last week. It's really hard to differentiate yourself at the quarterback position. You just don't want to bomb.
Right, okay? Exactly.
And by the way, 15 quarterbacks scored over 20 fantasy points, and Goff and Mahomes were on bye, and Trubisky was out. Mm-hmm. That's almost everybody.
You know who was number 6 on that list?
Who?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, God love him. Plugging him in everywhere in my 2 quarterback leagues. Okay, so, but we're still going Gus Edwards no matter what, right?
Yes, I'm definitely in on Gus Edwards, 100%. I mean, Atlanta's run defense is just atrocious.
Terrible.
Atrocious.
And again, I'm into Lamar Jackson this week as well against the Atlanta Falcons. They're bad.
Sure. Yep.
You can't trust any of their wide receivers. Willie Snead getting a 0 is just like the end of the world to me. But I think this is an easy matchup. So of course, Matt Bryant is kicker news, and I'm just gonna say if you do play with kickers, make sure he's just not in your lineup. Like,
is he hurt again?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, he missed practice again on Wednesday and Thursday with a back injury. So just get him out. No, but some people do play with kickers. So I just want to say that because you do not want to get a goose egg in week 13 at your kicker position and not get into the playoffs. That would be atrocious. We are not analyzing kickers here, but we are giving you news. Calvin Ridley was limited on Thursday. He's going to be fine, though. Everything seems to be fine with the Falcons, except for that they're the Falcons. Any thoughts?
It's the Falcons.
They just luck. And actually, Matt Ryan's been really consistent.
He has, and I ask you that one there. What do you think of Matt Ryan? So Matt Ryan at home, his numbers have been ridiculous this season. Yeah, ridiculous. Really good. But now it's the Ravens, and this is a really tough defense for them to face. And I'm curious as to whether or not you think, like, is Matt Ryan a guy you would use? Would you use Matt Ryan or Lamar Jackson?
Probably Lamar Jackson, because I feel like he'll score 20 points against the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, which I agree.
Yeah, I don't think he'll score 35 like Matt Ryan has against other teams, but against the Ravens, I don't think that's going to be possible for Matt Ryan. I'm starting Russell Wilson over Matt Ryan in a couple leagues. I'm starting Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan in a couple leagues. I'm starting Andrew Luck over Matt Ryan. I'm starting Drew Brees over Matt Ryan. I have Matt Ryan in a lot of leagues, obviously, here. But yeah,
what about Wentz?
No, I probably wouldn't.
You start Matt Ryan, okay. What about Jameis Winston?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on, if I need to kind of swing for the fences there. I just feel like Matt Ryan Jameis Winston is going to score points on the Panthers at home. That's just how that works. Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston? There you go. Look at that.
I go Watson here.
Yeah. I think this. I like these like young kind of swagger quarterbacks happening right now, and I feel like Watson wants to like be like, yeah, Baker, you're cute, but boom. That's how I feel. There's a little bit of, I don't know. Baker makes people feel things that other quarterbacks don't. He clusters people, and so I feel like there's a passion there that's going to be ignited. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go Watson here because the problem is, and this is my thing about the Matt Ryan, Jameis Winston debate too. Jameis Winston could get benched at any moment. He has a 4 interception game inside of his soul, always waiting to come out. So you just have to know that could happen and then move on with your life. But if you have a good option like Watson, great. I would go with that. Would you start AP or Godwin over the Traquan, or just Traquan, not the Traquan, PPR?
That's a tough one. Probably not Adrian Peterson. I know he's dealing with the injury, the shoulder problem. That's definitely hindered him. I mean, Philly's run defense is it's good. It's not what it was, but it's still a solid run D. But yeah, it's like Godwin over Traquan over Godwin. I mean, I guess I would probably go with Godwin in this one here. I think Godwin. And Humphreys are going to get the work. Deshaun Jackson's got the thumb issue, and he's supposed to play, but I mean, I think it's hindering his ability to catch the ball, and so I think I might go Godwin there. That's really
Dicey. Agreed. What up, Yeldon or Ingram PPR? I would go Yeldon.
Yeldon.
Any new info on Gus the Bus Edwards and his injury? He's practicing again. I think.
Why are we calling him the Bus? That's Jerome Bettis. I don't understand. I mean, is it just because it rhymes? Like, did you ever see the movie The Benchwarmers?
I think so. But, when I was a kid, I was terribly bullied. But this is another bullying story, so I'll make you cry. But there was this kid who was like, you know what your nickname should be? It should be Brain Dead because it rhymes with Brandon. And then because I was a nerd, I was like, no, that actually doesn't rhyme. That was my problem with it. Not that it was that he was calling me Brain Dead. I was like, that actually does not rhyme.
I'm more impressed that you could actually say Brain Dead, but no, it doesn't rhyme at all.
No. Anyway, the Gus the Bus, I agree. I think the Bus should be a little more reserved, but anyway. Hey, BML Howard, happy week 13. What up, Daryl? Brait or Njoku, 1 point PPR. Njoku does have the best matchup for the Browns this week, but Brait plays for the Tampa Bay Bucks. They also have a good matchup against the Panthers with the tight ends. So these are both good options.
Both very good options. I'll lean towards Brait. The last time these two teams played, first of all, Carolina's given up 7 passing touchdowns to tight ends in the last 7 games. The last time these two teams faced each other, O.J. Howard had 2 touchdowns. So
yeah.
I kind of tilt towards Brait in this matchup here.
Case closed. All right. Carolina Panthers, let's talk about that game against the Bucks. So what do you do with Curtis Samuel? Who is this guy? He returned to full practice on Thursday. He did have a hamstring injury, so people could be a little bit nervous. Funchess is back with that back injury, but people are still nervous about him being able to play. What are you doing with these two players? Do you think that Samuel's breakout is connected to Funchess not being well? Do you think so are we just watching both of them simultaneously and they're just dart throws? Talk to me.
Yeah, to me, they're dart throws. I actually probably won't even would never even use Funchess. I mean, the dude's just been such a disappointment since he even came into the league. I mean, what is he? He averages like 40 yards, 35, 40 yards a game. I mean, there's nothing special about it. He does see some red zone targets, but I mean, how many times have you seen him drop a pass in the end zone? Like, that's a bunch of times there. So I'm not really into him. I do like Curtis Samuel. I think he's got good speed, but again, yes, he's tied directly to Devin Funchess. So if Funchess is there and he is playing, then Samuel's not going to see the usual targets that he should see.
Speaking of the Bucks, you just said that Deshaun Watson expected to play. I find this thumb injury bizarre. I don't really.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yes. What did I say?
You said Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I'm just like making things up. Deshaun Jackson, who's going to be playing the Panthers.
Because you're brain dead, Marianne Lynch.
It doesn't rhyme. Peyton Barber limited at practice because of ankle and shoulder. He's beat up, but he's kind of been beat up for a little bit and still plays. Do you have any worries about him?
I worry that if he's not facing like a cakewalk defense, then he sucks. Like, he's good against Atlanta. He's good against San Francisco.
Right.
But you put him up against like the front 7 for Carolina. No, thank you.
No, I agree with you. By the way, everybody, it is Cyber Week, and Fantasy Factor is here to help us all out. Ooh, ooh. Check it out now. Ooh, ooh. Want everything that we do, all sports, through the next NFL season? You can get it free until 2020. Fantasy Factor is paying for it. For you. They're paying for it. It's amazing. You get both your DFS, your seasonal plays, all of our cool tools, the lineup generator, everything that we do content-wise, you name it. It's going to be amazing. So just go to fantasyalarm.com/cyberfree. Again, that's fantasyalarm.com/cyberfree, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you, Fantasy Factor. Woohoo. All right. 1 point PPR flex. Carson, Gus Edwards, Hyde, or Fitz?
How many do I get here?
1.
Really, just 1? All right.
Gus Edwards here against the Atlanta Falcons.
Who did you say right before Gus Edwards? Did you say Carlos Hyde? Oh, Carson.
And Carlos Hyde is there, and Fitz.
I'll side with Chris Carson here. I like Gus Edwards, and I think it's a great matchup for him against Atlanta. But I think Chris Carson is like locked to see 15 to 17 touches in this game against San Francisco. San Francisco.
Yeah, but don't you think Atlanta's even worse?
I think they're both terrible. I think that San Francisco's actually worse. If you look at like their Pro Football Focus grades for tackling and run defense, they're significantly lower than Atlanta's actually.
Yeah, but in terms of giving up points, the reason why is because San Francisco doesn't score enough points for them to care enough to really kind of push it down the field. Whereas like Atlanta scores enough points where like they can't stop the running back, and you have to keep scoring points because Atlanta will continue to score points on you. So it's the only thing I would say. Listen, it's between Carson and Gus Edwards. My initial gut reaction, gut for Gus. But I think Chris Carson, it's a fair argument. Ask us again on Sunday too, because again, I mean, with the Gus Edwards injury, that does make me a little more nervous. Okay. Non-PPR, need a running back, a wide receiver, and a flex. So you might need
hang on. Hang on, let me find my writing utensils here.
Sorry.
Sorry. All right, serve it up. What do we got?
Tariq Cohen.
Ugh.
Okay. TJ Yeldon.
Ew.
Austin Eckler.
Okay.
Golladay. Kenny Golladay. AJ Green.
Jeez.
Doug Baldwin. Lost Gordon and Fournette this past week. Shall we do it?
All right, so Eckler for me is the must play out of this group here.
Okay, even though Steelers defense is tough.
Even though the Steelers defense is tough, he's just going to see really strong volume here.
I mean, Philip Lindsay did well against them last week, but I'm sorry, Austin Eckler is no Philip Lindsay. He's not.
Wow. Well, I'm still sticking with Eckler there.
Okay.
I like. Yeah, I get a wide receiver, a running back, and a flex here.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take TJ Yeldon as my flex.
Okay.
All right. So here's the thing: if Aqib Talib plays, then I'm out on Kenny Golladay. If Aqib Talib is out, then I go Kenny Golladay. So if Aqib Talib plays, then I'm gonna pivot off of Golladay. I guess to AJ Green. I mean, I'm gonna have to try and put some trust in him. I mean, you know, Driscoll's he's not a great quarterback, but I mean, the dude he's run 2 touchdowns in himself. He's thrown another passing touchdown. He hasn't turned the ball over once since he's been on the field. You know, he's moderately efficient, very low risk. And I mean, it's like AJ, you throw the ball to AJ Green, you know? So I kind of tilt over that way. I'm just having a hard time trusting Baldwin. I mean, who knows? The groin, the knee, the hamstring. My biggest problem here is that I would love to get a piece of Kenny Golladay, but if Aqib Talib plays, then all of a sudden the Rams can afford to bring that safety over the top to protect from when Marcus Peters gets burnt by whatever wide receiver is, blowing by him. So that's kind of where I tilt away from Golladay. I don't know. How about you? What do you think?
It's Golladay for me, then it's AJ Green, just because I'm worried about the quarterback situation for Green, and then I go Doug Baldwin, just because. I mean, first of all, Russell Wilson is playing incredible football, and it's only because we're in such an amazing year where we got Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes, and these people are just going off, right? And all these great teams. That what Russell Wilson has done has become kind of boring, and we just expect it. But, he's playing amazing football. Amazing football. And what Tyler Lockett's doing, too, is just incredibly – it's driving everyone crazy because they're he's not getting enough targets, but he keeps putting up fantasy points. You guys, believe it. It's what's happening.
Right? So, it's not driving me crazy. I'm like, okay, let me lock that into my cash lineup. Thank you.
Every time – it's like clockwork, and it has been all season. You know what? It just sometimes is what it is. So, that would be my only thing is that I just – they've kind of gotten used to spreading it around without Baldwin being on the field, so they just haven't gone back to him being the dude. And it's been fine. Right. So that's my only thing about Doug Baldwin. But yeah, we agree mostly. And I think you're right with Aqib Talib. I guess I just don't expect him to play. But I I know that it's still questionable, and if he does, that is a different conversation. And that's why we have a show on Sunday too, guys.
We're here for you. Ooh, we have a show on Sunday.
11 to 12. I'll be there.
You just winking at me? Thank you, though. I'm flattered. I'm totally flattered. 100% married.
Oh, good thing my husband's working tonight. Anyway, I lost my mind.
Like all of a sudden, I'm like doing a live stream with Uta Hagen. Oh, do me a favor. That scene was terrible. It was absolutely atrocious. I hated it. I didn't believe a word you were saying.
Losing it. All right, guys. Bears coach Matt Nagy says that Mitchell Trubisky is still not throwing. I highly doubt Mitchell Trubisky is going to play. I just want to. They've basically said Chase Daniel is going to start this week against the Giants already. He has not been technically ruled out, but it has been reported that he's ruled out. So that's why we call them ruled out. Okay, so don't come back at me and be like, oh, but it's not technical. Sure, you start Mitchell Trubisky all you want, but
can I ask you about this game real quick here?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it right now. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Jordan Howard. I want to talk about Jordan Howard. I want to talk about the potential of this being like a Jordan Howard. So we talked about the Bears against Detroit on Thanksgiving, and you thought it was going to be a Jordan Howard day, and I was like, no, I think it's going to be more passing because I think that's just how you beat Detroit. Now I look at the Giants here. Mm-hmm. And the Giants' run defense is terrible. Once they got rid of Damon Harrison. I mean, they were bleeding, rushing yards. I think they give up like 135 yards per game over like the last 3 weeks here. So the question that I have is, from everything that we've seen about Matt Nagy and how much motion he likes pre-snap and all the misdirection that he tries to throw around, can he possibly tone that garbage down and actually beat the Giants the way they were supposed to be beaten, and that is by running it down their throats? The mistake that he made when he didn't use Jordan Howard like that against Miami, and they lost the game. Like, this is the exact same scenario here for him. Does Matt Nagy do that, or am I just, grasping at straws with Jordan Howard?
I'm worried that we're always grasping at straws with Jordan Howard because it just seems like a weird cliff that he's fallen off of.
Mount Nagy.
Yeah, just really scary. I was surprised that they had Chase Daniel do 37 passing attempts and that was my thing, is that I was like, why would you do that? But they did. I play Tariq Cohen in pretty much all situations now. Just every time there's a need for a touchdown, even in the run game, it's him. And I'm a little worried. Do I think you could take a dart throw at Jordan Howard? Yeah, but I don't know.
I thought they would, like a FanDuel GPP.
Yeah, I thought they would use him when they had a new quarterback out there to just get a win on Thanksgiving, and they didn't. So I don't know. I mean, what's the circumstance? And they didn't against Miami. And, it's like, what circumstance are they going to be like, no, we've really forced our hand here? So it's weird because I agree with you and I say yes, and I still think Matt Nagy is just really ruining us.
I feel like he is. I feel like he went and looked at like his fantasy league on ESPN and was like, wow, look at that. Jordan Howard has 82% ownership. Let's see how low we can get that number.
Yeah, let's see. Because it was 100.
It was. And then week 2 happened. And then it went down to 80.
Who do you want out of this receiving game for the Bears?
Out of the Bears receiving game? I think I kind of like Allen Robinson here. I know he hasn't seen the targets really in the last couple of games. I hate Janoris Jenkins. Like, I don't hate him on a personal level because I don't know him on a personal level.
Mother.
I just don't think. Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of accents today.
Right?
Week 13.
Oh, that's all right. I already said that I'm going to do the fantasy alarm. If the Saints win tomorrow, right, I'm going to do the entire fantasy alarm show in a Cajun accent just to piss Jim off.
Oh, man. What do you think about Evan Engram? not practicing, probably not going to play. But tight ends are really tragic, so I think some people still have him as a guy they may want to play.
Yeah, right? So stupid.
But there are no good ones. It's like, I mean, that was the other position where I was looking at
the Izod shirt guy from Denver.
Oh, Matt Lacoste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Lacoste. I did write about it. Listen, of all of them, he's getting a shot. We have a couple questions coming up about Jean right here. I'm actually going to ask this now because we're talking about tight ends. Good evening, my two favorite fantasy analysts. Hello, Mike DeCosta. Full point PPR, Graham, Jonnu Smith, or Jesse James? Yes, Jimmy Graham should be in this question, by the way. Don't think. It may have sounded shocking to you, but
Jimmy Graham's mom watches this live stream, Brandon. You gotta be careful. I'm gonna kind of lean towards Jonnu Smith on this one here.
Me too.
Screw you, Jimmy Graham. You
Yeah.
suck. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look at the tight end. Did we say this? Like, we sat there the entire preseason.
Yeah, I don't have Jimmy Graham in any leagues. 0 leagues.
None.
That's not me bragging. It's like we were being legitimate by saying this is not going to happen. Period. It was one of the more confident calls that I had in the preseason that has been absolutely true because there was no way it was going to fail.
Yeah.
Stop me. And my favorite part too was when people were like, they need a red zone target. And I was like, Devontae Adams has the most touchdown passes in the National Football League over the last 2 seasons, period. They have the best red zone target in the NFL. Hello? So it doesn't even make sense. Anyway, so you got to look at the big picture, everybody. Look at the big picture. Glad I finally caught a Thursday live. Hello, Shalita Meadows. What up? How about Burton or Lacoste in another league? Also PPR. You think Burton's the pass catcher for the Bears against the Giants?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The Giants actually have tightened up against the tight end. Like last year, they were dog crap against the tight end. This year, they're like 6th best against the tight end, according to like DVOA numbers here. So, I mean, listen, I like Trey Burton. Trey Burton is as trashy as every other stupid tight end. There's very little consistency. Maybe he hits, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gives you, 30 yards and a touchdown. What did he have? He had like 127 yards and a touchdown 1 week. 1 week.
1 week of glory.
Yeah, and then forever after that, I mean, it's just turned into just next to nothing here. So it's just a garbage position. Just terrible. I'm embarrassed to be called the tight end whisperer.
Yeah. So the only thing we're going to say about the Giants is that obviously Ingram with like getting hurt in the warm-ups is not good with a hamstring. But other than that, you start your studs. There's no one else here that's interesting, right?
There is nobody else who's interesting.
The Buffalo Bills, I want to talk about them at the Miami Dolphins. And the reason why is because I think Josh Allen, it's ugly. 42 completion percentage last week. But this team, it does give them a spark. You cannot deny it. They just overall play better. I'm not going to play any of the wide receivers, though. I know everyone's getting cute with Foster, but that's just, he had a big catch. But that's not enough for me, guys. One play is not enough to change my mind. But I do think that he likes to spread it out. People play a little bit better. And this week he's going up against the Dolphins. So the Dolphins, though, is interesting. They give up a ton of points to running backs and tight ends. Charles Clay limited at Thursday's practice. He sat out the last 2 games. I don't think he's going to get back to him. But I do think Josh Allen, he ran over 100 yards, ran in a touchdown, threw a touchdown. He's kind of like a one-man band over there. He's the only one I want to play.
Took a knee twice. Finished up with 99 yards, lost that bonus. Screw you, Josh Allen.
Oh, my gosh. Did they do that?
Mm-hmm. He took a knee twice. He lost 2 yards.
Oh, no.
Finished up with 99 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he was still the 6th highest point scorer there. But, yeah, that whole, take a knee. That happened to Deshaun Watson did that on Monday night, and somebody tweeted me immediately. They were like, I just lost my game by 0.3 because Deshaun Watson took a knee.
Wow. Okay. we're going to talk about the other side of this, Miami, because that also gave me hives. A lot of injuries going on here and whining. So Kenny Stills came out today to express he was frustrated with his lack of usage. I have to say I am surprised by that. Kenny Stills was someone I thought that would be really good coming into the season, and that just like fell off into the desert. Danny Amendola not practicing right now. Devontae Parker has a shoulder injury. Kenyon Drake has a shoulder injury. Is there anyone here that you want to play?
Nope.
Drake is the hardest because he's good when we put him on our bench.
Sure.
So when you do that, just know that that's going to happen to you emotionally and prepare. That's really what you're going to do. I need 2 wide receivers in a PPR league. Traquan, Anthony Miller, and D. Moore from Seattle. That's David. Okay, I'm already playing Woods. So just sit 1. Traquan, Miller, David Moore. I think you sit David Moore.
Yeah, he's like 3rd on that depth chart there as far as targets go. Possibly even 4th.
They like him, and he had a good game last week. I mean, I don't want to like poo-poo him, but I think Anthony Miller will get some. I don't know if they shouldn't pass against the Giants, but we know they will. And then Traquan, you're going to hope for the upside. It's hard to sit a borderline dude against other borderline dudes when your borderline dude plays with Drew Brees. That's the deciding factor on Traquan for me. If you were saying Traquan versus Tyler Lockett, I would say Tyler Lockett, but these are all borderline dudes, so you stick with Traquan. Winston or Luck? Don't get cute. You play Luck.
Yeah. I don't know. The guy who throws 4 interceptions and gets benched, or the guy who's thrown 8 straight games with 3 or more touchdown passes.
He is playing the Jags, and I understand that, but the Jags are in a bad situation. They're without their starting running back. They're playing Cody Kessler instead of Blake Bortles, and you're saying, oh, maybe it's an upgrade. Well, maybe, or it's Cody Kessler. So I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm into Luck. Half-point PPR, Brate or Jared Cook?
I'm going Brate.
Yeah, got to go for the upside there with touchdowns. So you got to wonder what the Raiders are going to be doing. On the other hand, how do you feel about the Raiders going up against Kansas City? Someone has to do something on the Raiders side, right?
No. Who? No. Okay. What? What do they have to do? Oh, okay. Who's their kicker? What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember who the kicker is.
Right? Because it's not Tavecchio anymore, and Sebastian Janikowski's with Seattle now. It's just some rando dude. I can't. Joe Rando.
Go with Rando. We love him. Dak or Brady? Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting one. I would go with Brady here. I know it's Minnesota, and I know it's kind of tough, but Xavier Rhodes is banged up, and there's a chance that he misses the game. Trey Wayne's on the other side of the field. He's terrible. He's not P.J. Williams terrible, but he's still pretty bad. And I think, it's what Mackenzie Alexander's going to be on Julian Edelman the whole time. I think Dak's got a good floor here, but I tell you, man, I think that this game, I think this Saints-Cowboys game is going to be 31-17 in favor of the Saints. And Zeke Elliott is going to have at least one of those touchdowns for the Cowboys.
I think that's very, very possible. Colts at Jags, let's just talk about it because we just touched on it. The best matchups are for the quarterback and the tight end. Jack Doyle went on IR this week. So Eric Ebron may be one of the highest rated tight ends the rest of the season. I mean, I don't know what to do. And I would even say Eric Swope.
Still dealing with that knee injury though, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he is. But if he comes back, because they signed Clyde Wolford this week.
I know.
Now I know he's a nobody. I understand. But my point is that I think that they always use 2 tight ends, so we need to watch to see who the other guy is, because he is the other guy you want to pick up. Eric Ebron did return to full practice on Thursday with the back injury. I just Eric Ebron's the man. Marlon Mack is in concussion protocol, but he supposedly was a full participant on Thursday's practice, which is a shockingly fast recovery from a concussion. So I say still watch the news here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if he was a full participant. Like they said, he was at practice today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very conflicting here.
Yeah,
Stay on
he hasn't been cleared from the protocol. So they're still worried about that. So, that now you have to look at either Nyheim Hines or Jordan Wilkins here. So
I would go Hines for sure. If
yeah, I like Hines. I like Hines too. I think he's yeah.
T.Y. Hilton's also groin injury, but he did return to a limited practice on Thursday. Do you still feel good about T.Y. Hilton?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, he's out there, right?
What's that?
If he's playing with luck and he's out there, we have to play him, right?
Yeah, and I think Jalen Ramsey's banged up. I mean, Jalen Ramsey still might play. He came back to practice today. Right. But I think, I mean, him banged up, I'll take T.Y. Hilton against him any day then.
Yeah, no, I agree. Any thoughts on the Jags side other than just play TJ Yeldon? I mean, is there anyone else you would take a dart throw on here? I don't know.
James O'Shaughnessy, the tight end.
Would you?
No.
Okay. Good. Tommy Lee is out. That is correct. Would you start Jackson over Ryan? I might.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah, we talked about that.
That earlier. Yeah, so I think I might. I need 2 wide receivers in a PPR. Okay. Oh, we already did this one. We get Yum from Mr. B. Oh, can we get a yummy yum?
For who? I know what they're looking for. I know what they're fishing for here.
Yeah, we need to know. We need to know. Do we have a first-time player on Fantasy Factor to get a free year of Fantasy Alarm? Do you have to be a first-time player?
Yeah. I mean, you have to set up your account there, and then they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So if you're already at Fantasy Factor, sorry, but I mean, you see that cyber deal that we're doing here? By the way, I meant to tell you, Brandon, you're never getting a raise. Okay. John Mpemba, who's producing the live stream today, he's never getting a raise because we're just giving everything away.
Yeah.
Did you see that deal? The $100?
Yeah, it's $100.
Come on.
You get it forever. It's like not forever, but 2020. That's a long ways away. By the way, speaking of free and easy, which is good stuff, Prize Picks is easy. Simply select 2, 3, or 4 players. Then you decide that each player will be under or over their posted projected fantasy points. You control who you select. You control how much you play for. As for the free, because that's what we're talking about here. If you sign up for Fantasy Alarm, you get a free entry with a chance to win $25 cash. So there you go. You can have any of these deals, you guys. So plus Prize Picks is going to give you 100% instant deposit match. So hurry to fantasyalarm.com/picks to get in the game. That's fantasyalarm.com/picks. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports simplified. Very, very fun. Okay. Need help, please, to win 3 running backs, half-point PPR. Okay. I don't think you need a pencil, but we need to sit 2 of these guys. Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Mark Ingram, James Conner, Lamar Miller.
Ooh, we have to sit 2 of them?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so I'm sitting Ingram.
Yep.
I guess I'm sitting Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, if he didn't have that touchdown, his yardage is really tragic.
Will you leave him alone? You stop picking on my Dalvin.
He's got issues. Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know how you sit Aaron Jones or James Conner this week going up against the Browns. Lamar Miller just has a good matchup, and he seems to do very well when he's in good matchups. Non-PPR need 2 wide receivers. Josh Gordon, Tyler Lockett, Deshaun Jackson, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Cortland Sutton. Only need 2.
I'll say Lockett. I'll say Lockett. You tell me who the other one is.
I think it's Boyd.
Ooh, Tyler.
I can't trust Cortland Sutton. I know it's the Bengals, so they should be able to put up points, but he's just making me cranky inside. Deshaun Jackson, the weird thumb issue, I don't know what that's all about. Could it maybe be Calvin Ridley? So boomer bust. And maybe Josh Gordon. It's not a great matchup against the Vikings, but, again, Rhodes is ailing. To me, Lockett's the only lock. And then I guess, you know what? No, I'll go Josh Gordon because he has the better quarterback out of all these guys.
Yeah. He's got the GOAT, Tom Brady.
He's got the GOAT, Tom Brady. But no, I mean, like literally, when I'm thinking about guys and they're all about the same thing, I always go with the better quarterback, and it hasn't let me down. Full point PPR, I have Chubb and McCaffrey and running back. Good for you. And Aaron Jones is in the flex. Really? Now you're bragging. Okay. I have James White, Marlon Mack, and Austin Eckler on my bench. Any changes? No.
Yeah, your attitude. What's up with that? You're all braggadocious here with all these. Oh, I got these running back riches here.
I'm the greatest ever. Way to go, John. Full point PPR tight end question. Start Cook or Burton, or drop one of them for Hooper, Olsen, or Brate off waivers.
Why is Olsen? Yeah, Brate or Olsen. Why are Brate or Olsen sitting on your waiver wire right now?
That might be why this same dude has all these great running backs.
Oh, is that what it is? He's got all these running backs and he just dropped all the good tight ends.
No, I'm saying, like, I mean, is he playing with his friend and that's it? I mean, that doesn't make me.
What do you mean? Is that a euphemism for something?
No, it's not, but it could be. I would say I would do Brate over Cook or Burton this week.
Yes, me too, 100%.
Great. Half point PPR, need 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Would you flex? Okay, so if you can flex Chubb, that's what you do. Okay. We got Michelle, White, Mac. This guy's killing me. Kiki, Devin Funchess, Dion Lewis, and David Moore. So he doesn't need he needs 2 wide receivers. And then you would flex Chubb out of all those running backs, right? So
Flexing Chubb, yep.
Yeah, and then I guess you'd go, maybe that's it. Maybe he just decided he doesn't care about wide receivers because this is tragic. I would go Kiki and David Moore because we don't even know if Funchess can play.
Correct.
Tevin Coleman, Josh Williams, or Gus Edwards in the flex, full point PPR.
Tevin Coleman, Josh
Reynolds,
Gus
Edwards.
And Gus Edwards.
I go Edwards.
Yeah, I go Edwards here. Yeah, definitely.
Good flex play there. Oakland kicker is Daniel Carlson. Yes, thank you, Nathan. This is how much we care about him. I'm sorry.
What a know-it-all. Thanks, Nathan.
Hey, it's a Google search away. We like it.
Don't you correct me.
Yeah, so John Barkley said ESPN listed Mac as a full participant. Yeah, no. We agree. And he says it's a 10-team league with all these running backs. Yeah, but I now see your wide receivers, so now I know what you did. Hi guys, need 2 of the 4: Doxson, Hines, Gallup, or A-Rob. Half point PPR 16 team.
Hines and A-Rob for me.
Yeah. What if Mac plays? Would you switch to Doxson? I mean, I think you have to.
Yeah, I guess you kind of have to. I mean, Philly's secondary still stinks, even though it's Colt McCoy.
So does Josh Doxson, but all right. So we need a running back and a flex. We got Crowell, Drake, Reynolds, or Demaryius Thomas.
Crowell, Drake, Reynolds, or Demaryius Thomas?
Yeah.
Only one?
Well, 1 running back and 1 flex.
All right. So I'm going to flex Reynolds.
Okay.
I guess I kind of have to use the Drake, don't I?
I think you do.
Yeah, I mean,
check the injury reports. We'll be here on Sunday, but at this point, we would do Drake. You can't play a running back against the Titans, and you can't play a Jet right now. There's a lot going on. Doxson high ceiling question? No, Doxson does not have a high ceiling. Just Doxson is a little tragic, but I think this is it. Also, great shirt, Howard. Agreed. I think that's where the baked comment came from. Thank you guys for your help throughout the year. You're welcome. Hey guys, is Lutz hurt or no? Just sore? I am under the impression that he is just sore and playing and everything is fine. So I would say, yeah. They say he was limited on Monday. But that's the first time he's ever been on the injury report in his 3-year career. I think he's going to be fine. But keep tuned in here for the next 20 minutes before the game time. Good idea to roll out Dak tonight over Brady and Winston in standard. No, I think I would go with Brady for safety, Winston for upside, and then Dak is kind of like a middle ground guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Flex spot, non-PPR, Dion Lewis or Tyler Boyd? Oh.
Gross. Ew. Yuck. I'll say Tyler Boyd.
Okay. Half point. Cookson was. Okay, I don't understand this question. Okay. So moving on to this one here. Sorry. Got a little thing. Cooper tonight or Josh Reynolds? You have to go Amari Cooper.
Yeah, you do.
He's getting a million looks.
Yeah, no, and listen, I love Josh Reynolds for this week,
Me too.
I definitely do. But, yeah, Cooper's the guy that they're going to have. Now, the question is does it scare you that Marshawn – I mean, they haven't said that Marshawn Lattimore is going to shadow him. So maybe they get creative and they move Cooper around enough to avoid Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, they're never going to get him opposite P.J. Williams here. But, I mean, they can still keep him on the other side of the field from Lattimore.
Yeah, and I still think that with the volume, at some point he's going to break out. So that's what's key for me here. And it's just with Josh Reynolds, he's the third option. And he's the third option on a fantastic football team that scores a ton of points. But, that does have to come into play here when we're talking about the other guys. So that's why I would go with Cooper. But I'm happy that you have both. Unless you're 11-1, a Cowboys fan, and own Amari Cooper, and this week means nothing.
Oh my God! Is that dude called the show today, and he was like, "I'm 11-1." He's a diehard Cowboys fan, and he was like, "It's not going to change my seeding or anything else. It's not going to have any effect whatsoever on my playoffs here." So I wanted to know if I could start. Is it ethical, basically, to start Amari Cooper over Michael Thomas?
Sure.
I mean, yeah, it's not going to affect his team in any way.
It's not unethical. I mean, is it like what I would personally do? No, right. But if it doesn't affect anything, it's your team. You got here. Congrats. I guess that's the prize you're giving yourself. If that's what we're going to call it, because that's sad. But hey, you do you. Hey, Bender, beard is popping. Made it to pick 3 out of Cook, Mixon, James White, and Peyton Barber.
Cook, Mixon, James White, or Peyton Barber?
Yeah.
And how many do I get here?
3.
Not Peyton Barber.
Yep, there it is. All right. How about them Cowboys? Number 2, same guy. Braid over Burton with Trubs out? Yeah.
Yep.
Braid over Burton with Trubs in. Yeah. Nobody cares.
It really doesn't matter.
Really doesn't matter. What up, y'all? Non-PPR. Lindsay, Lockett, or Breida? Lindsay. Although it said Brenda instead of Breida, and I just want to tell you that because that's really funny. Or Brenda. Definitely Brenda. I think you go Philip Lindsay against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, why would
you have to. You have to. It's such a shame that you got to sit Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. I would like to try to work him in somewhere, but there you go.
Oh, would you?
This show's gone off the rails. Traquan Smith tonight, or LeGarrette Blount, or Jalen Richard? Sorry, last minute question full of poo. It's not a last minute question. It's not full of poo. I really like Blount this week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as far as like a positive matchup, but I mean, really, is Detroit really gonna run the ball? I mean, I guess you can hope that he gets like the goal line carry if there's some possible way that Matthew Stafford doesn't A, die, or B, throw 800 interceptions in this one.
Listen, I know the Chicago Bears decided not to run against Detroit, but Detroit gives up a ton of fantasy points to opposing running backs. I think this is a huge Todd Gurley game, and they just run out the clock and get out of there. Because at this point, all they need to do is keep winning, but not even by that much, and they're in the playoffs. I mean, they have a crazy great record. Things are going well for them. They beat Kansas City. They're on a run here. I think they just want to get out of there with the fewest amount of injuries possible. I even think we might see Malcolm Brown in here a little bit because they need to start pulling people. And so for me, I just think that the pace might be a little bit less intense than normal for the Rams. Now, they keep their pedal to the metal. I don't mean that, but it's just that it's just so easy to run in Detroit. And I don't know. But would you play Traquan Smith over Blount?
No, I would probably. I think the upside of Blount getting like a goal line carry and getting into the end zone is bigger than Traquan Smith getting a touchdown pass thrown to him.
Yeah, and by the way, LeGarrette Blount still does really well after contact too. I mean, it's a weird thing. He's just ageless. The guy also has 2 Super Bowls with different teams. Good for him. PPR pick 2 running backs. Connor, Breida, Aaron Jones.
Connor and Jones.
correct. Yes, there was a correct answer to that, and that was it. Okay.
Sit Brenda.
Sit Brenda for sure. Burton or Kyle Rudolph, half-point PPR?
You know what? I'm going to go Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, it's a good matchup, actually.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, the Patriots can't defend against tight ends. It's a very weird deal. What's up, you guys? Ingram or Cohen? Standard. I would go Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna throw my Jordan Howard propaganda into the mix here. I'll just agree with Brandon.
No. I like the Jordan Howard propaganda. I'm just worried about Ingram in this matchup. I just don't know why. I don't know. Maybe
because you've been listening to Jim Bowden talk about the fact that the Cowboys have an elite defense.
No, I have not been listening to that, but I will say that I just feel like Ingram is just too volatile for me in terms of fantasy points. Whereas like Tariq Cohen, they always somehow get involved. Ingram, it's like, do we need you or not this week? And I'm not quite sure they do this week. Starting the Saints defense tonight. Okay. I mean, that's okay. I don't know if that's a great call.
Knock yourself out.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't have the Packers or the Seahawks, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. I also like the Bills against Miami. Just putting that out there.
Of course you do. You know why? Because it's Ryan Tannehill and it's Miami.
Yeah. I feel weird promoting two different Bills plays this week. It feels wrong. Flex, Lindsay, Lockett, or Breida. We answered that one. We're going Lindsay. Bender is demand. Agreed. Wonder. Oh, no. I won't read that one. Adam Humphries is available.
What was that one? What was that one? Where was that? What are you looking at? I want to see it now. Now I want to see it.
They're wondering if you baked something or if you're just tired.
Oh, I haven't been to bed yet. I literally have not been to bed yet. So
there's the answer.
Yeah, I am. I'm fresh off the show at Sirius, and I mean, I wish I was high. I'm not gonna lie. I really wish I was high, and probably right after this live stream. But for the sake of this right now, it's just really freaking tired.
Yeah, true. Okay, last question is about our Adam Humphries. He's available on waivers. Do you like him better than Courtland Sutton? Thinking of picking him. Yeah, I agree. I think you have to do that. That's a very good play. So there you go, everybody. Week 13. We're about ready to get started. So everyone go check your lineups, get to your business, and we adore you. And always go check things out on fantasyalarm.com. Again, we appreciate you. And see you on Sunday, everybody, at 11 a.m. Bye-bye.